Alright guys, I am back yet again with another deck profile for Cardfight Vanguard Dear Days on Nintendo Switch. This time we got version 1 of my Lyrical Monasterio Michu deck. So of course version 1 is everything through the first additional card pass, so through D Lyrical Booster 3. And this deck is the last of the glitter decks from the Cray Cross Epic web novel series. And this deck revolves around Michu and a special kind of set orders called Cannonballs, which actually allow you to change out Michu's ability to an entirely new ability. And then, in combination with your rearguard glitter, actually allows you to get multiple Vanguard attacks per turn as well. So, as always, we will be going through the deck, and then we'll show it off in one card fight for you to see it in action. So starting first with the ride deck, we have our Grade 0 starter, which is Afternoon Dance Lesson Michu. So when she's rode upon, if you went second, draw a card. Standard D-Series starter skill. Next up, for the Grade 1, we have Happy Shopping Michu. So she has an auto ability that says when this unit is placed by riding from a Grade 0 with Michu in its card name, search your deck for up to one all set up, put it into your order zone, and shuffle your deck. So all set up is a set order in this deck that is very vital for the deck to be able to function. So this card does allow you to search it out of your deck and get it directly into your order zone. So it guarantees that you have that card, which is absolutely necessary for a lot of the skills in this deck. And then of course she also has her glitter ability, which doesn't do anything in and of itself other than make this card a glitter, which is of course vital for some of our other skills in the deck. So next for the Grade 2, we have Sparkling Summer Michu. So her auto ability says when this unit is placed by riding from a Grade 1 card with Michu in its card name, look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Choose up to one card with No in its card name, or one Cannonball card from among them. Reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. And then, of course, again, this card is a glitter. So, her first skill lets you search out a No or a Cannonball from the top 5 of your deck, which No is the rearguard glitter for this deck, which is another very vital combo piece for you to be able to pull off your plays. So you definitely want to be able to find at least one copy of her. And of course you need your Cannonballs to change out your Grade 3 Michu's ability. So when you ride into her, you can check the top 5 for either one of those vital pieces to get into your hand. Now of course it could whiff if you don't find either of those in the top 5, but it is cost free, so you don't lose out on anything if it does whiff, and if it succeeds then you get a free +1 into your hand. So very nice ability. So then lastly for the Grade 3, we have First to Head Towards a Dream, Michu. You know, insert Kamen Rider 01 joke here. But anyway, she has her Activate ability that says once per turn, if you have a all set up in your order zone, you can counterblast one to draw a card, choose a card from your hand, call it to rearguard circle, or discard it. So this ability is actually very similar to Leonorn's Activate ability, letting you draw one and call one for just one counterblast. So if you don't call one, you do have to discard it, so you want to make sure that you have an open rearguard circle when you play this ability to call something to, and preferably already have something in your hand that you would want to call. But if you can get that situated, then it is just a counterblast one for a +1. And then she also has her Cannonball auto ability that says when this unit attacks a Vanguard, you can Soul Blast 2 to choose one of your opponent's rearguards, retire it, and this unit gets power plus 5,000 until the end of that battle. So this ability is designated as a Cannonball ability, which doesn't really mean anything in and of itself. But like I mentioned before, the Cannonball set order in this deck allows you to change her Cannonball ability into an entirely new skill, which the skill that it gets changed into is actually a lot better than this skill, and it has the same cost. So ideally you would get your Cannonball every turn in order to be able to use that skill instead of this one. Which means the only time you're actually going to be using this skill is as a fallback if for whatever reason you don't have your Cannonball order set up in your order zone and you can't change it into the better ability. You still will be able to do something. Which this ability isn't bad. I mean, it's a 5k to your Vanguard and a control option, letting you pick off an opponent's rearguard. So it's not terrible, but the new ability that you get from the order is far superior, especially when it's comboed with your other rearguard abilities. So yeah, most of the time you're not actually even going to be using this skill for anything. It's just kind of there to be a backup. And then once again, this card is a glitter. So that is the ride deck. Moving on to the main deck. First off, for the grade 3s, we do have our 3 additional copies of Michu. The LSR swimsuit alternate art, looking very nice. So next we have 4 copies of our Cannonball set order, Flower Cannonball. So you can play this with a Counterblast 1. However, thanks to all setup, we actually do have a way to get around having to pay that play cost. But either way, it does have an auto ability that says when this card is put into your order zone, draw a card. So, very simple draw ability. And then it also has an activate ability when it's in your order zone that says if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Michu in its card name, you can put this card into your drop and change all of your Vanguard's Cannonball abilities to a new auto ability until the end of turn. That says, when this unit attacks, use Soul Blast 2 to choose 3 of your units and they get power plus 10,000 until end of turn. So like I said, this card does allow you to swap out Michu's Cannonball ability for this new skill, letting you give any 3 of your units an extra 10k, which ideally you would want to give that extra power to your 2 front row rear guards and then your back row center rear guard, which should be Nokuno, your rear guard glitter, which will actually allow you to power up 4 of your attacks that turn, which I'll go into in more detail when I go over Nokuno in the grade 1s. But yeah, this ability is the same cost as Michu's standard Cannonball ability, and this one just gives you a lot more bang for your buck, since it powers up potentially 4 of your attacks by 10k, as opposed to powering up 1 of your attacks by 5k, although you do have to give up the rearguard retire in the control option. But ultimately that power gain is far more important, so you definitely want to be able to send this card from your order zone to drop every turn in order to change Michu's ability into this new one, which we do have quite a few cards in this deck dedicated to getting this card into your order zone where you need it to be. So that is all of the grade 3s, moving on to the grade 2s. First off, we got 4 copies of Schedule Coordinating Remory. So she has 2 auto abilities. First of which says when this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater unit, if your order zone has all set up, this unit gets power plus 5,000 until the end of that battle. So that makes her a 15k base as long as you're attacking into a grade 3, which thanks to your ride line you should always have all set up in your order zone, so that power gain is pretty much guaranteed. And then she has our second auto ability that says when this unit's attack hits, you can Soul Blast 1 to choose a Cannonball card from your drop and put it into your order zone. So this is a very useful on-hit skill, allowing you to recycle your Flower Cannonballs back from your drop after they are sent there with their own ability. So it does have to hit, but with her own power-up and the power-up from the Flower Cannonball ability, she should be at a minimum of 25k every turn, 35k with Persona Ride. So she should hit pretty good numbers. And being able to get those Flower Cannonballs back into your order zone is not only very good for being able to reuse them the next turn, but that will also trigger Flower Cannonball's ability when it's placed into order zone and let you draw as well. So if her attack hits anything, not even just a Vanguard, if it hits at all, not only do you get your set order back, but you get an extra card into your hand as well. So definitely one of the most important offensive cards in the deck. So next up, we got 3 copies of I'm on Stage, Ronovea. So she has a continuous ability that's active on Rearguard or Guardian Circle. That says, if you have all set up in your order zone, this unit gets power plus 5,000, shield plus 5,000. So she is an 8k base grade 2, but again, you will always have all set up. So that effectively makes her a 13k attacker and a 10k shield. So she's just a good versatile card. She can be an attacker, she can be an interceptor. You can guard with her from your hand if you need to. So she's just a helpful card all around for the deck. So then lastly for the grade 2s, we have 2 copies of Large Wheel That Colors the Night, Palmyra. So her auto ability says when this card is discarded from hand during your turn, you may put this card into your soul. So she's just a good card to help keep up your soul resources. This deck does have quite a few soul blasting costs in it. So if you discard her for your ride line, or Nokino's ability has a discard cost as well. So if you drop her for that, you can put her into your soul to help fuel some of your other abilities. If you're really desperate for the soul, you actually could discard her off of Michu's draw ability as well to get her into your soul a little bit faster. But yeah, she's just here to help you refuel that resource as much as possible. So that is all the grade 2s. Moving on to the grade 1s. First off, we have 4 copies of Shy Vocal Nokuno. So this is our Rearguard glitter for this deck, which is actually the only Rearguard glitter that isn't dual nation. So she has our auto ability that's active in the drop zone. That says when a card is put into your order zone, if you do not have a unit with Nokuno in its card name, you can Soul Blast one and call this card to your back row center Rearguard circle. So whenever all set up or Flower Cannonball is put into your order zone, if you don't already have Nokuno on your field, you can use this ability to revive her from your drop to your back row center, which will get her in perfect position to use her glitter ability, which is active if your Vanguard is a glitter with Michu in its card name. So it's auto ability if she is on your back row center Rearguard circle. That says at the end of the battle your Vanguard attacked. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you can Counterblast one and discard a card from your hand to stay in this unit and swap the position of your Vanguard with this unit. And then at the end of that turn, you swap the position of that swapped unit with this unit. So this is a very powerful ability. Basically what it lets you do is you can attack with Michu, boosted by Nokuno, and then at the end of that battle you can pay the cost in order to stay in Nokuno, and then move Nokuno onto your Vanguard circle, and put your then rested Michu onto your back row center. So you end up with a second Vanguard attack that turn, being able to attack with Nokuno after you attacked with Michu. So you will get 1 extra drive check since she is a grade 1. So combined with the discard cost, that is a ±0. But you get the extra attack, you get the extra trigger chance, and if you used Flower Cannonball to change Michu's ability for that turn, when Michu attacked you could have powered up 3 of your units. So if you powered up Nokuno, since she was boosting Michu's attack, then she would have gained that power gain for her attack as well. And then once you move Nokuno to the Vanguard circle, that power gain will remain with her, which means Nokuno should be attacking for at least 18k. And since she moved to your front row, if you Persona Road that turn, she'll be at 28k on her own as well. So a very, very cool card. Definitely a pretty unique way for you to get another Vanguard attack in. You know, kind of different from the standard just restanding your Vanguard or superior riding or what have you. Being able to swap from Rearguard circle to Vanguard circle and attack again is a very, very cool ability. So next up for the grade 1s, we have 4 copies of Shutter Chance Ilse. So she has an auto ability that says when the attack this unit boosted hits a Vanguard, if your order zone has all set up, you can look at the top 5 cards of your deck to choose up to 1 glitter or set order from among them, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. And if you revealed a card, put this unit on the bottom of your deck. So again, this is a useful card in helping you find your combo pieces, especially early game. She does have to boost a hit in order to have this ability go off. And again, this ability could whiff since it's just checking the top 5. But you don't have to put her on the bottom of your deck if you don't find a card in the top 5. So if it does whiff, you can just leave her on your rear guard circle to potentially try again later on another turn if she boosts another successful attack. But if you do find one of those specified cards in the top 5, it can be a very helpful way to get either a copy of No Kuno, a copy of your Persona Ride, or a copy of your Flower Cannonball into your hand. Which, if you do get one of those, it is a ±0 since you bottom decks herself. But still, replacing herself with a vital combo piece can be very helpful for the consistency of the deck. So next for the grade 1s, we do have our Sentinels, which is 3 copies of Nocturne of Flickering Lambency, Judith. So just your standard Perfect Guard. And then additionally, of course, we have our 1 copy of the Blitz Order, Elementaria Sanctitude, which you can play without paying the cost if your opponent's Vanguard has triple drive. So then also for the grade 1s, I do have 1 copy of the Normal Order, Light That Shines on Solitude. So you can play this if you have a Vanguard with Michu in its card name, and it lets you perform either of the effects below. So you can either search your deck for up to 1 unit card with No Kuno in its card name, discard it, and shuffle your deck. Or if you have a back row center rear guard with No Kuno in its card name, you can countercharge 1. So this card can basically act as a 5th copy of No Kuno, since it can search her out of your deck and get her into your drop, and then you can just revive her from your drop onto your field with her own ability. Or if you already have your No Kuno out and set up, then you can use this card to get an extra counter charge, which this deck isn't super counterblast heavy, so you shouldn't run into too much need for a counter charge, but you know, having the option is still very nice. Another thing you can do if you want, even if you already have No Kuno on your field, you still can use the first option of this skill just to thin your deck and make it slightly more likely for you to get a trigger. So this card isn't super vital for the deck, but I do like just having it as a one of. So then lastly for the grade 1s, we do of course have our 1 copy of the set order all set up. So this is the one that you search off of your ride line, and it has an activate ability when it's in your order zone that says if you have a Vanguard with Michu in its card name, you can rest this card to soul charge 1, choose up to 1 Cannonball card from your hand, and put it into your order zone. So this is a very, very, very vital card for the deck. Of course, we have several skills that will only work if you have this card in play, which you always will have it in play even with only 1 copy of it in your deck, since the grade 1 Michu does search it out and get it immediately into your order zone. But this card is not only the primary soul charge engine of the deck, helping you pay the many soul blast costs of your various units, it also lets you put a Cannonball card directly from your hand into your order zone. So that lets you bypass Flower Cannonball's play cost, since it's being put into play by an ability. And it also potentially lets you get Flower Cannonball into play sooner than you would be able to normal play it, since the Cannonball is of course a grade 3 card. Normally you wouldn't be able to play that until turn 3, but with this ability you can potentially use it on your first or second turn as well, and as soon as it goes into play you will still be able to get that draw ability. So you might be able to get your Cannonball set up a little sooner in order to get an earlier draw. So one of the most important cards in the deck, but it is only needed at a 1 of, since you can search it out reliably. So that's all the grade 1s. Moving on to the grade 0s, we do just have our trigger lineup, which is 8 crit, 3 front, 4 heal, and 1 over. So starting first with the crit triggers, we do have 4 copies of Precious Tune Edwidge. Crit with a skill. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted. You can put this unit into your soul to choose one of your units, and it gets power plus 2,000 until end of turn. So just another option for the deck to build up a little soul. Additionally, we have 4 copies of Grinning Dragon Scale Ilze. So just a vanilla crit. Next for the fronts, we have 3 copies of Snowskip Palvi. So front with a skill. If your opponent's Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, gets shield plus 5,000. So your 20k shield front trigger. And then for the heals, we have 4 copies of Hushed Diva Hortense. So just the vanilla heal, as always. If you want to play any of the effect heals, you can. So then lastly, the over trigger is 1 copy of Mysterious Twins Romea and Rumia. So the additional effect during this fight you get during your turn, all of your rearguards get power plus 10,000. So it grants a skill to the fighter, powering up all your rearguards for the rest of the game, which can be very helpful in this deck since we do have a few on-hit skills. Powering up those rearguards and making those attacks harder to block is of course very helpful. So that is the deck. So we will go ahead and have our one fight with it. And I think we'll face FuRyu this time. And we will be going second. Alright, so we'll discard one of these Nokunos to ride, and use our starter skill to draw, and then use grade 1 Michu's skill to search out all setup and get it in our order zone, which does trigger the skill of the Nokuno in our drop, but I'm actually not going to use it right now. And instead, I am going to go ahead and use all set up just to get the soul charge, because we do not have a Cannonball in our hand. But we'll go ahead and call Ilse behind our Vanguard, actually, and then we can attack. And we get a front trigger that is wasted. But since that attack hit, we do get to resolve Ilse's skill to check the top 5. And we do find a copy of Nokuno, so we'll add her to our hand. And send Ilse to the bottom. And he does overdress into Virina arcs, so he does get to draw too. And I'll let that one through. He gets a crit trigger. We get a heal trigger, which we don't get, but we do get the power. So we'll go ahead and guard that one. Alright, so let's discard Palmyra to ride. And Palmyra's skill will put herself into our soul. And then grade 2 Michu. Let's just check the top 5. And we find another Nokuno and a flower cannonball. So we will add the cannonball to our hand. So we will go ahead and use all setup skill once again to rest it. Which will let us soul charge 1 and place the flower cannonball from our hand into order zone, which triggers its ability to let us draw 1. And that also triggers the Nokuno in our drops ability to let us soul blast 1 and revive her to our back row center. So then we'll go ahead and call Ronovea over there, who gains 5k since we have all set up in the order zone. So we'll call this other Ilse behind Ronovea, and then we can go ahead and attack with the Vanguard first. So then we'll attack with Ronovea. And he guards. So then he adds Virena to his hand and uses Nirvana skill to revive Trickstar and overdresses into Arcs again. So he gets another draw too. So let's see, we will guard that one. He gets a crit trigger. So that's 2 crits, so we'll guard that one as well. And then we'll let that one through. Alright, so let's discard one of these Nokunos to ride our grade 3 Michu. And then we'll go ahead and use our activate ability to counterblast, which will let us draw 1 and call 1. So we'll call Rimmery over here. And then we will go ahead and use all set up once again, just to get that soul charge. And then we can use our Flower Cannonball's ability to send itself to the drop and change Michu's skill to the new skill. So I think we are good to go. So we'll go ahead and attack with Michu first, boosted by Nokuno. And that'll let us use Michu's Cannonball ability to Soul Blast 2. And now we can give 3 of our units an extra 10k. So we will power up our 2 front row rear guards and Nokuno. And we get a crit trigger. So we'll give that crit to the Vanguard and the power to Remory. And he gets a heal trigger when she does get. But now we can use Nokuno's glitter ability to counterblast and discard 1. So we'll go ahead and drop that order, I guess, to stay in Nokuno and move her to Vanguard Circle. So we will attack with her again when she needs a trigger to even hit, but we'll go for it anyway. And we didn't get one. But now we can attack with Remory, who gains 5k thanks to our own skill. And he guards. And then we can attack with Rono Vea, boosted by Ilse. And he guards again. So now Nokuno's ability. We'll let her swap with Michu. And he does get his great full ride. And Mahar's skill will burn us. So let's see, we just need 10 to block that, so we'll intercept with Rono Vea. And I think I'll guard that one. Those two. It gets another heal trigger, which he doesn't get this time. And I'll let that one through. Alright, so now we can Persona Ride. So we will go ahead and use Michu's Activate ability once again. Counterblast and draw. And then we can call one from our hand, so we will call Rono Vea. And then we'll use All Set Up to Soul Charge and place Flower Cannonball from our hand. And its skill lets us draw again. So then we'll use Flower Cannonball, send it to the drop to change Michu's Cannonball ability. And I think we are good, so we will attack with Michu first, boosted by Nokuno. And Michu's Cannonball skill lets us Soul Blast too. And once again, power up our 3 units, which powers up Michu as well. And we get a crit trigger. So crit to the Vanguard and power to Remory. So that put him to 5, and now we can use Nokino's Glitter skill again to counterblast and discard 1. So we'll drop that Nokino to stand and swap positions. So then Nokino can attack. And that is not going through because we only get 1 check. But we'll get another crit trigger. So that won't be enough, so we'll give both those to Renovea. So then we will attack with Remory, who gains 5k with her own ability. And he perfect guards. So then we'll attack with Renovea for 51,002 crit. Oh, and he's got to lay it through. And that crit does not save him, so we got him with that one. So there you go, that was my Michu deck. I do like this deck quite a bit, it is pretty fun to play. I like all the glitter decks quite a bit, but this one is pretty good. So anyway, I will be back soon with more deck profiles. I believe next up I do have another lyrical deck with Lilfa. So until then, I guess that's all for this video. So lots of luck to you and yours.